Now, this is the confessions given to the lawyer at the jail cell, Thomas Gray.
And that's what's online.
Okay,
The recreated audio.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm asking. Is that what?
I think so. There's a record of it back behind here. But the problem is, this is also the title that William Styron used for his book, The Confessions of Nat Turner.
Who won all those awards?
He won a Pulitzer, but he didn't do any damn research. And quite frankly, if you look over there, you'll see some Post-it notes. And that's because this room is not made for people who write novels. This is for historians.
Wow.
And so his face has got a Post-it note over it because he didn't do the research.
And this is the actual weapon.
That's the sword, yep. And then behind this is the best chronology that exists. When Nate Parker came in, I nicest guy in the world. I said, why didn't you come and do the research ahead of time and so it'd be historically accurate? And he was kind of very gracious, but he said, Rick, I was making a movie of my Nat, not necessarily the historical Nat. So you won't go to the movie for the history, but in this handout there were several photographs taken back in 1900 that a guy was doing for his master's thesis to John Hopkins.
Oh, thank God.
So that's right. So when we do the bus tour, we go to each of these sites, talk about what happened at each site, and kind of give an idea of what what the lay of the land was.
Sure.
So again, these are my relatives, and if it had not been for three slaves acting independent of each other, to save them, one of them grabbed pregnant Lavinia, my great-great-grandmother, hid her in this little cubbyhole, and that's the only reason I survived. My line.
You're a descendant.
I'm a descendant.
Oh, you're the guy. Now I know who you are. You're on YouTube. Yeah. Now I know who you are. Yeah, I've seen it. That's you. So realistically, there's like a divide in whether Nat Turner should be a hero or not.
Sure.
So you don't think he should be a hero?
I don't take a position.
Okay.
Because
I remember you going upstairs in the house. I remember you showing on video where your mother hid or your grandmother hid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking about the guy who came in here. There's one guy who came in here and did like an hour and 20 minutes. That spontaneous dropped in, and I looked about as good as I do now. But anyway, I would like to, in theory, and I'm sure I bring in my own baggage just like everybody brings in their baggage. My father was always quick to remind me of the action of the slaves saving our lives, in effect, by saving those two warm and fuzzy people that you got over there.
Yeah.
So I tried to stay away from the saint or sinner rule, but I tried to, here's what we know about it, you make your own mind up.
Right.
Kind of thing. So when we go on a bus tour, it is no topic left undiscussed.
Absolutely.
Or somebody wants to bring it up.
Right.
So we've had some great, interesting discussions, and it's a racially mixed crowd. And, and unfortunately, though, I lost my bus driver, high school buddy, to a boating accident in 2020. And my other high school buddy who owned the bus took it off the road. So I'm without a bus or a driver at this moment for getting back in to it. But
have you ever thought about collaborating with the actual family and doing a tour? Is that possible?
Well,
or is it just mixed messaging?
No, not necessarily. The problem is
it could be very profitable.
Well, I'm not looking to make money.
No, I'm talking about just for the taxes for the city. Oh, the taxes for the city. That's what I was thinking about.
All right. Now, this is Bruce Turner. I don't know if you've spoken to him.
No, I haven't, but I know he has a home down here.
Well, he's more in Tidewater area. But the problem is, you get two or three of us here together and James McGee together, we all like to talk. Yeah. And you never get off the bus.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
If you had everybody doing the talk. So, but I'll be glad to.
So it was your grandmother that he killed, that he murdered?
Well, no, hang on. Now, those are my great-greats. Okay, so they survived only through the action of slaves. So his sister was Mrs. Travis, Joseph Travis's, she was the second person to get the axe. Joseph Travis was the first, and then his brother was the second house. So Lathiel Francis was the second house hit.
So how many of your family members were murdered?
Well, if you, there's a lady, Kitty Future, who's now passed away, and she's a great historian locally, and she says, 35 Francises died in one way or another.
I get you.
But I can't tag it to 35. I can get you to 17, I think.
Wow.
Pretty well. But as far as the extended family, what happened back in those days, everybody was born, married, and died about a 3-mile radius from where they started. So it's all, in fact, Nat Turner's first owner, his second owner was his first owner's oldest son, and that's the way it kind of went. Property was inherited by the oldest male child, and that's why at the time of the insurrection itself, Nat Turner was owned by a teenager, Putnam Moore.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, because his skull was in Indianapolis. A politician in Indianapolis had it. How ironic, right?
Richard Hatcher had it.
Isn't that funny?
And wouldn't tell anybody he had it. And that is, I got to take my hat off because to Nate Parker on this one, because if Nate had not done the movie, then you would not have had National Geographic go start leaning on Richard Hatcher to cough up the skull.
Right. So. And the family got it. I actually saw that video, and that's who actually I had on my show, man. I appreciate the Bailey family, who's the Frederick Douglass family. They're all connected. Shelley Lucas and Shelley is her name. I think it's Lucas, Shelley.
Well, Mrs. Lucas is Senator Lucas.
No. It's but she's attached to the family. She's actually 7 minutes away. That's who I was on the phone with when before you walked in.
Speaking of this lady here with the hat.
I haven't met her yet.
Okay.
I have yet to meet her
gotcha.
yet. Have yet to
All
meet
right.
her.
Because
No, that's she just passed away.
Okay.
That's the mom, I believe.
She passed?
I think so.
Oh my, good gracious.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so that's Mr. Alvin Turner, who I think is a dead ringer for Nat's wanted description as a younger man.
Yeah,
would be a dead ringer.
Oh wow.
For that, but yeah.
Man, y'all got to get that. Man, I would have loved to. That would be monumentous to put that on display, the actual weapon.
Oh, yeah. And it will be in the museum that the Historical Society is developing. And there's going to be both a driving tour with this blue, kind of like the Civil War boys have got their trumpet. This is going to be the stopping marker along a driving trail and along a town walking trail. The town walking trail is going to get there first. But other tourists will be able to download an app, and it'll take them through the county.
Smart.
And walk them through, and somebody will be able to give them at each of those houses spots. Here's a picture of that house, and here's what happened in that location.
Where's the Dred Scott decision and stuff at? Isn't that in this area too?
Well, Dred Scott was born here, so we can attribute that. He's got a highway sign marker out on 58, but not really close to the land upon which he's born.
Okay.
There's nothing right yet at that location.
Where's the marker for Nat Turner? Where's that at?
Well,
that's far from here?
Well, most of the Welcome to Southampton County signs got a little blurb about Nat Turner.
But that big thing that I see on everybody's YouTube video, where's that at?
It's not to be seen right now. It got knocked down by a
truck or
farmer on a tractor, an African-American guy planting roads, and he kept those roads straight, by golly, but he knocked the darn thing off. And so the highway department gave the broken sign to the Historical Society. And they're going to put a new one on. I offered to pay the $1,750 if they would just leave the sign as it was, put it right back up.
It cost $7,800?
$1,750.
Wow.
And they wouldn't take me up on it.
Wow.
They said they want to rewrite the sign. So that's...
Yeah, I seen that on YouTube. I see that a lot.
So that's coming back in, but it'll have different language on it, and it will be sometime, hopefully later this year.
Okay.
But it's been down this is the second year.
So if I can make two stops, where was he hung at? Was he hung at the courthouse, or was he hung down the street?
Down the street, around the corner. I'll give you a couple maps so you can take. But if you were going to see a couple of things, have you been to the Rebecca Vaughn house?
Yeah, I went there. That's the only place I went.
Okay. So the Rebecca Vaughn house would be one. I think only Belmont, and that you can see from the road, but it's one of the few structures that is still standing. But if it were
How would I recognize the location where he was hung?
I'll give you a map.
Okay, perfect.
It's not the best thing in the world. Let me make you a copy of it.
Thank you.
Sure. And I'll give you a driving map, what we use for our bus drives too.
Okay.
But as you can imagine, it's a little tough getting a 55 passenger van down through some of this
Oh yeah, for
country
sure.
stuff. But it's
And it's raining right now. I
I'm
hear
sorry.
it. That's fine. Nothing I can do. I'm under time constraints.
wet.
It's
What
fine.
I'm saying.
That's life. Y'all have a black sheriff here. I find that so monumentous and ironic at the same time.
Let me tell you, boss. Until this past year, we had chairman of our board of supervisors, African American, and one of the most senior members on the board. He is still on the board. He's the most senior member, I think, and the next most senior member, both African American.
So the mindset has shifted. Because I remember as a kid, because my family originally, actually, Nate, you're not going to believe this. Nat Turner killed my slave owner, the Peebles family.
Peebles family.
Yeah.
Which?
It's in his confession.
Okay.
So my family's my family's last name is Peebles.
Peebles.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Hang on. Let me borrow your handout again.
Okay, good.
Because in here I've got a list of all the whites and all the slaves that were involved.
Peebles. Yeah.
Peoples. Hartwell Peoples?
Yeah. That's my
so
that's my slave owner's family.
Okay. Wow.
How?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hartwell Peoples.
And we started our family right down the road. And what's the name of that street? Oh my God. What's the name of that city? Whaley'sville.
Whaley'sville?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Whaley'sville. Yeah. We've been in that home since 1841. We own 85 acres.
Sweet. And you kept it in the family all that time?
Yeah. Well, we lost 100 and something because when they put the tax laws in the early 1900s, we lost about 100 and something. But outside of that, we still got 85 acres. Yes.
So here was Mr. Parker.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this was like, how long ago was this?
This was on, I tell you
13?
for a second, May the 25th, 2016.
Yeah.
Right before, October 2nd on Nat Turner's birthday, the movie came out.
Yeah.
But they came in May, filming it for that. But the problem is, we had not only the sword out, but we had.
Oh, you got the sword?
Well,
This
was out that day. But here's the Turner family that were coming to see what was going on while they were filming.
Yeah.
And we got an original confession brought to us from Richmond, but they cut all that history part out of it.
That weapon is the key. Trust me.
Well, I think so too. That's what to get people to get off I-95 to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was both of these gentlemen were very gracious to us, and as little folk here in the town, and happy to spend time with us. Now, if you're here at the courthouse, if you take a left out of here, the very first right is called Broad Street. And the very first right over that is called Linden. There's an open brick wall there, and the hanging tree would have been just outside of that brick wall.
The tree is no longer there.
The tree's no longer there.
Is there a marker there at all?
Not yet, but there will be with that walking tour. There's a house with purple shutters on this side, then there's a gap, then you got that open brick wall. So that would be, if you want to go there, and then Nat Turner's remains would most likely have been buried at the Railroad X, right where the X is on the road, taking a left down High Street. That's where National Geographic took a dig and discovered human remains.
Okay.
So that's all right here, and you've already been to the Rebecca Vaughn house on this side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Dr. Blunt house is way up here off of Buckhorn Quarter Road.
And Dr. Blunt is
the last house attacked by Nat Turner's group, and it's one of the nicer structures still remaining.
Okay.
You talk about where could you go other than the Rebecca Vaughn house
That's it.
or these houses?
Okay, yeah.
That's probably about the best way to go.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
To see what actually was standing at that time. So that's marked there.
This is awesome.
So yeah. I'm sorry you're gonna get wet, boss.
Oh, it's fine. This is part of life.
No.
Part of life.
When you're ready to do a full involved podcast.
Oh, I'm going to get your contact, and you can feel free to